Hello, visuals.
Hello.
And welcome. Well, kind of technically the first, but not officially the first, but the first established spoiler-heavy review for The Last of Us. This time it's episode 2. We pretty much did in episode 1, but I wasn't sure if Chris wanted to do this weekly thing with all of his inside, like we do with the Marvel shows and shit. But I wanted to anyway, and Chris can bring on and teach us all more. Any of you Last of Us noobs like me, we can learn from Chris. Usually, on our Marvel ones, I would go first and spin down, but so I think you should go first. Do all your do's and don'ts, what you noticed, all that carry on. Formulate the episode and what you saw, what you noticed, and all that shit.
Well, again, a good episode. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, you got to see clickers in first hand.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's how they move. That's what you've got to do. You got to sneak about.
Yeah, the weird.
The only weird thing I thought was a bit weird, and I'm not the only one, is the kissing moment in the museum. Not the museum, the hall, where they transported the
whatever it was at the end where
yeah.
the girl dies. She's already been bitten, but like it's like
yeah,
right, okay.
That was weird. That doesn't happen in the game.
Yeah, but it's different how they infect him.
Yeah. It's just
you didn't like it or not?
Not the fact I didn't like it. It's just we knew she was infected, so it didn't really have to show you that bit.
Yeah,
because you knew she was gonna turn.
Yeah. So that was the one question. Sorry, this is going to be your thoughts, but now you quickly bring it up.
That's fine.
The one thing that in my head, did the infected, like fully infected guy, not realise that she was already starting to be infected?
Yeah, that's why none of them attacked her. That's why they all walked past, because they knew she was infected.
They knew she was going to die.
They could smell it on her.
Yeah, because I thought when they were all running past, like, oh, they must know. Then he come over and did that before. Why is it double infecting her?
It was just weird. We don't know why that was.
Hey, maybe it'll come down.
They did say that there was going to be one of two few odd bits in it, which is fair enough.
I didn't hate it though. I liked it. I liked this because it was the first real clean visual we've got of this new way of biting sort of infection.
And as you can see, they're all connected. So when one thing moves at the other side of the tower, they all come rushing.
I love that when they're on top of the hotel and they look down this, because they're all moving dead slow in that. And to me as a noob, I'm thinking, are they all nearly dead? Are they all? What's the matter with them? Like they must really gone. And then you get that little tug when the vine goes round, and they're up, boom, and it's like, oh shit, they're okay. I thought they were like, and then but carry on, would you? Sorry.
But apart from that bit, the series, the episode was spot on. Again, following the game, going through the museum, sneaking about with the clickers.
So that's a key component in the game, the museum, because that was so good.
Sneaking about around the clickers. In the game, you only had one clicker and a couple of runners. But
the runners were the ones that ran at the end.
Yeah, they're the people that still
with the Michael Jackson bopping ones.
Yes, and the guy that does the voicing in the clickers in the game is actually the guy who's in the series.
What do you mean voicing? Making the clicking noise?
Yeah,
speaking?
That's a person doing all them clicking noises. Not
that was a great way to slowly build up the suspense in that scene, because you heard the first initial. Well, first of all, we get the bridge bit where they're walking, the bridge, whatever it was, the road, and you hear that dog's going to be getting fucking. All right, mate, calm down. You can have the rest of the tray in a sec. I was going to get you a nice fork, man. Sorry, my dog wants a tray. That's what I'm trying to yeah, well, you first heard that. So what was that noise from then? What was the scream?
It would have been one of the walkers.
Right, okay. So that scream was the first, like, because I was like, oh shit, here we go, what's this? Then it dies down a bit, and then they get to this museum, which obviously they've been through a million times before by the looks of it.
Yes.
And they know their way around, they can traverse and that. And they get to the bit where they're all like, separated and whatnot, they're all sweating, and you can just hear, because it takes a while to fully show you it visually. Yeah. You get a little bit of a shoulder, a little bit of thing, and like, oh, this thing's fucking weird and creepy. And then you get like the turn of the rah, and the mushrooms coming out of his fucking head. And I just thought that scene was outstanding. The way Pedro Pascal fought it and that, and the way he did his different, how he was choosing to fight and how he was making noises and whatnot, it was fucking so good.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
they delivered on every aspect of that part. But okay, carry. What Easter eggs did you notice any Easter eggs? Is there any Easter eggs if it's game to show exact?
See, not what I've picked up, but I know the game. Yeah. I know what would be different. Like I said, the only thing major difference was that the kissing bit.
Yeah.
Everything else was pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
like I said, when they got into the museum and she was like, could have told Ellie and Joel to do one.
Yeah.
In the game, it's a couple of army dudes that come in, not the runners.
Oh, okay.
But apart from that difference...
Wait, so in the game, the army, are they infected army or regular army?
It's regular army.
And do they still kill all the army lot?
Yeah, I've got to kill the army lot.
Right, okay.
But apart from that difference, yeah, it's all pretty spot on with the game.
I'm going to give massive props again to Pedro Pascal Shock. Like we had in episode 1, the loving, sad father eyes to boom dead in the eyes. I fucking love the bit where you could see he was heartbroken about this, what was the name of the girl, his girlfriend, Tess. She's telling him to go and he's a bit like hesitant to, and she does one, I was like, oh my god, you've just shut off your feelings, boom, like that, and you've done one.
Yeah. He's
so good at isolating and shutting off people, and you can see the warmth slowly building between him and
Ellie.
Forgive for that, I'm going to need you to keep doing that. Again, I was like, oh my god, you've gone from, you could tell you're a little bit heartbroken, gutted here, but you've obviously spent the last 20 years isolating yourself, like emotionally or whatever, and isolating to grab around and do one. And like, because Ellie, somebody who's just met this Tessa girl, was a little bit like, no, blah, blah, blah. And then Joel's like, I've known her for a while, I'm dating her or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, mate, you are just killing this.
Again, word to word with the game to the series was pretty much bob on as well, to be fair.
Something, again, I'm going to give credit to all of them, is how many times has that light sin been overdone in films? They need to blow something up and it won't light. You've seen it a million times. Even though I've seen it a million times in this, I was still like, oh my god, because we got to the point where the kiss guy was, whatever the fuck, runner, was on her, and she's still trying to spark it. And then I was like, I've seen this thing a million times, but oh my god, you are selling the shit out of this, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, usually they get, just before the doom happens, they get it done.
I like her as an actress because I watched her in fuck do you call it?
I don't know.
You do.
I watch it.
Fringe.
Oh right, yes, okay.
She's the one in the main cast in Fringe, and I like her from that.
Yeah, she's good in this, and she was. I liked how she was the one convincing, because Joel was ready to just kill that Ellie at any point, just like get rid, die, whatever. Yeah. And I like that she was the voice of reason, and she can clearly see, because Joel doesn't believe this myth. Well, to him, it's a myth.
Yes.
Of the cure. And
obviously, now with Tess out the picture, you'll see a more of a bond come between Ellie and Joel.
Well, the breadcrumbs were laid.
Yeah. As much as he distanced himself, they would do bond eventually.
I watched a pretty badass video, because apparently, again, you can correct me here, I was watching this video, and apparently it's not always the best way, unless you're amazing at the game, to rush in and go into fights and do shit.
No. Well, you can. It doesn't matter if you know the game or not.
Right.
Just explore. Just have fun with it.
Well, this video...
That's what I say, because it's such a brilliant game. It's not open world, but there's enough for you to explore.
I think
it still sends you in the right direction, but there's enough for you to explore. And for somebody who likes achievements for yourself, you've got cards and you've got other shit to collect. You upgrade all your weapons to all achievements. You've got your books that you need to collect to show yourself how to do more fights and how to use an arrow properly and stuff like that. So for someone who likes achievements like yourself, just take your time, just enjoy the game. Yeah.
You said they're quite long games anyway. But no, what I was going to say, this video, it was basically saying, again, that's why I didn't know if it was true or not, it was saying it's not always smart to just rush into fights and do loads of mad shit unless you're extremely skilled with all the weapons and shit. And this guy was running into all this shit, and it was like watching watching Shang-Chi fight with all this blocking and shit. He was doing all this, man. I was like, oh my fucking god, this guy's nuts.
Have seen some nice ones online.
Yeah, and he was like going out and they was chucking like this thing in his back, in his, because all your weapons were on your backpack. Yeah. You could, instead of like a game where they go invisible and they just come out and get out of nowhere, they're all on Joel's back.
Yeah,
and he was going back in, and I was like, oh my god, you must be smashing this game. And it was quite cool to fucking watch. I forgot to mention that Tess girl in episode 1. I completely ignored if she was an original character, but obviously you just cleared that up. She was an original character. Yeah. I love as well. The pacing of this episode was great because it was a nice, slow, fluttery build from being outside of the whatever that city is, the wall.
That's
or whatever.
What the games are. You do get your odd little mad rushes, but you are just going through buildings and exploring them and just fucking creeping round.
I fucking loved the creeping round, how Joel and Thingy knew their way around everything in the cave. Do you want to take the long way or the short way, whatever? The short way is certain death or whatever. And the ways they knew everything and how to traverse. Because obviously, like you said before in the podcast, it would be quite cool to get a prequel because you could see how he learned how to traverse and how he learned to fight and all that kind of shit. Because you got to remember, he was a carpenter.
Yes.
He was a carpenter.
He was carpenting.
He was obviously not some guy that's going around used to killing loads of shit with loads of different weapons and stuff. So it was quite fascinating to see.
It'd be nice to see the third game to be a prequel. That way you can learn all this with him, but also still jump back to Ellie to finish her story.
Yeah.
Because I have a funny feeling that Ellie is going to find the Fireflies and sacrifice herself. That's how I think the end is going to be. I was
literally about to ask you, not how do you think, but how should the franchise end?
That finish Joe's... No, not... Have a prequel of Joel, how he became... Because everyone fucking loves Joel.
Mate, 2 episodes in, I'm madly in love with him. And that's not just because...
You don't really need to finish Abby's story because you know she's gone to another place. You know she's gone with the Fireflies and that's her story done. She's had her story. Leave it at that. We don't have to jump back to Abby now. Finish Ellie's journey. Do a prequel on Joel. That's how I think we should do it.
Did that girl create the Fireflies then, the one you just mentioned? Who created
Abby.
them? Yeah.
No.
She didn't?
No.
But is she like a main part of them?
Kinda, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Again, you'll learn all this.
Yeah. I'm assuming that stuff's game 2 though, isn't it? Is it?
Well, the Fireflies that we're heading to now, but you'll get to know more of Abby's story towards the end into the game 2.
So are the Fireflies good? Because they seem a little bit questionable to me.
They're bad to everybody else, but in a way that they want to help the world, they want to help the public.
So it's a case of no matter what, it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Right, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it's they are good people, but other people see them as bad people, so they attack them, so that they attack them back.
Yeah.
That situation.
I'm with you on that. I still think so far, out of two episodes ago, we're only 2 episodes in, that my favourite moment is the eyes from Pedro.
Yeah.
I can't go over that, mate. I can't. And how much my heart was going in episode 1.
It all depends on how far in the story we're going to be. We might be going through a little town, and then obviously we're going to see a weapons expert guy, which you'll like and stuff. You can see some more clickers, get some more weapons and shit like that.
I like these clickers are great. Absolutely.
Possibly we might get to see a bloater in the next episode.
Blowers are which one again?
The ones that throw shit at you.
Not
shit, but
not only
bombs.
are they fucking up. Apparently somebody at work today shat on the floor. I wasn't going to go look. I don't brought that up because you're not throwing shit. I love the idea that there's these big mushroom fucking fungus things that run around. But now there's ones that chuck shit.
Possibly we might get to see that in episode 3, maybe even episode 4, depending on how far ahead we're going to be.
Right. Okay. So is it when they get out of the city they go to this weapons expert guy thing?
They go to the weapons expert guy and they've got to go and get a battery from a truck. This isn't a game.
For this battery light.
No, this isn't a game, but they end up into a bit of a trouble and then.
I am right in saying it's a battery for a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somewhere they've got a car that just needs a battery.
Yeah.
Right. And do you eventually get because can you go around in a car?
But in the game, it's different in the game because the battery's got nothing to do with this until you get to see the weapons expert.
Oh, okay. Right, so they've just sort of rushed it on a bit.
Yeah, the battery's been brought on earlier. It was just weapons.
Right.
And obviously, yeah.
But episode 2, it's hard to critique which one I prefer so far. So far, episode 1, I think it was one of the best openers of a show you could ever get.
Oh, definitely.
It was
a brilliant show.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's the first episode.
It hit you with everything you need to know about these people, why they are and how they are and what they're doing. It give you enough mystery to carry on for the rest of the season. It give you enough action and want to learn more about these new monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
in episode 2 was still flawless, but fuck me, that episode 1 will sit with us.
I think my personal opinion, I prefer episode 1.
Episode 1 was outstanding.
It was brilliant. Even the opening, just them two talking on the seat, explaining what fungus is and what it does.
Honestly, that's what I mean when it started, because I didn't know it was a fungus. I had no idea. And when they mentioned it at first, I thought, that's a bit fucking dumb. And then I thought about it again, I went, actually, no, that's fucking brilliant. Because I thought, again, this me being my immature mind, when they mentioned mushrooms and fungus and shit, I just went straight to Mario and Luigi, like I kept saying last week. But then I thought about, because it's never really been done, and how they implemented it, and when they brought it into real life world, how it happens and shit, I thought, this is actually great. I fucking loved. Oh, probably got to me. What country are we in the opening of this episode?
Boston.
No, where we get the flashback to 2002?
Texas.
Is it Texas?
We're in Texas.
And the woman, like, she investigates and she sees a body and she's looking. She opens it up, like, they open a machine, but she sees, like, a vine or whatever the fuck it was.
Right, sorry, Puerto Rico.
Is that what it was? Puerto Rico, sorry.
Yeah. Again, sorry, that bit is not in the game. That's something they've brought
I had a funny feeling that wouldn't be in the game.
But even that opening shot, that was brilliant.
Because the bit that got me was when he hands her the tea or whatever, and then she's like, and he's like, what do we do? She's like, bomb the city. And I was like, that fucking, because you see, obviously that method was used worldwide, obviously, because they go past. I'm thinking Tess. Fucking hell, man. Tess says, that's what they did to try to just bomb the fucking city, the biggest cities and whatnot. But yeah, this episode again, pacing, and the way it ended, we got that moment where Joel and Ellie step forward and they look at each other and all that kind of shit across the room. I did like it, even though the actress, not the character, is annoying us. I liked it when the Pedro Pascal Joel's like, yeah, I know it's a bit scary. She's like, yeah, whatever, just walks across the plank, not asked. And he's like, all right, fair enough. And it gave away, and it didn't give away. You knew as well that she had been bit as well, the way that she was acting. All of a sudden, it was good the way she sacrificed herself as well. That was fucking awesome. I love the way they boot through the door and I'm fucking charging through, going nuts. And I like it ended with the building exploding, didn't it? And them two looking up and carried on. And, very much in love, mate. Very much. I hope they bring out some like a line of fungus or some shit. It'd be quite. I think you can have like a nice little set with your last of us fungus and fucking
mint,
all that kind of shit.
I think in the game, from that you go into the subway, but again, obviously we're not wearing masks and spores in the series. I don't know how much it's going to jump.
Why is the subway a key thing with masks? Like, I know the masks are a key thing anyway.
Like subways, anything that's closed, dark, and shit like that.
Oh yeah, fungus loves it more, doesn't it?
It's all.
Of course.
So
that's another reason why this show's brilliant.
There's more spores and shit like that.
Yeah.
So obviously there's no really wear masks in the series. So I don't know how much we're going to miss that. So
in the game, when the spores affect you, do they just need to land on you, or do they need to be breathed in? You've got to breathe the spores. Yeah. I take it they're really small or whatever, and you can't
like
really.
Particle dusts.
So it'd be quite hard to know when somebody's infected, because here, by markings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas if
that's why they wear masks and shit. Where Ellie can kind of get away with it.
Of course, because she can breathe as many as she wants in, which is just mad because. I wonder what because again, if this is like kind of real, it is real world science. I wonder. I'm assuming you don't know this yet, anyway. In the game, what's actually in her to stop this?
We don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd know.
We don't know why she's chosen what blood or what antibody she has in her.
I wonder if you could Google, because again, it's real world science. We've seen this, in the jungles and whatnot. Like, what if there is a natural counter action for it? Because I like it because the ant colonies, for example, they somehow figure out who's infected. They've now adapted to it and they take away the bodies.
The guy who wrote it, I don't think he really knows what the antibody is or what is in her blood.
It's kind of like obviously The Walking Dead. We don't know why everybody's born with.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody was fine. Then all of a sudden this thing happens, whatever it is, where they're all just we've all got it. It's just when you die. So
I don't even know if we'll get the answer.
You might not. It's just, the reason why I bring it up is because, like I said, so far it's factual. Like this could really, obviously, it's not factual because you can't get it on humans yet.
Well, technically, it could happen because, like I say, it happens now.
That's what I'm on about. I wonder if there's something in the wild that has a counteract to it.
Well, what ants do is when they know one of theirs is infected,
they drag them away,
take it away.
Yeah. But the smart thing was because they went for years without knowing what was going on, and the ants were like they sussed on, which is just fucking nuts on its own. The fact that ants are like, hang on a sec, Jeffrey's a bit fucking mad, and then same thing happened to Donna, and then Michael's a bit mad.
Yeah.
Such a fucking fat
I
dog.
think he wants his ball.
Yeah, you can get it, you fucking lazy little bastard. But yeah, episode 2, and the maybe my second favourite moment from this episode was the initial scream. I love that bit on the bridge. I better bring it up again. You've told me the sexual orientation of Ellie being lesbian.
Yes.
And there's a reason why the camera points to her when they ask her about a boyfriend, and she has that weird, like, sort of like shocked, scared, not scared, whatever sort of look. And it was quite cool that you'd told me, because I was like, I know why you reacted to it, because again, most people would just be like, oh no boyfriend, but they made her react like that because, yeah, it's been really fun knowing. Because again, it's still a secret to people that just watch the show and haven't spoken to people like you as to why why do the Fireflies want Ellie and all that kind of shit. And obviously, you've passed the information on to me. So these little sort of things that you've given the answer to, I'm like, I know why. The only one is just knowing that Joel dies.
Yeah, it's a big blow to everybody, to be honest, when it happened.
As much as it's going to be heartbreaking, and again, it'll be heartbreaking for you because you're more invested, but I'm still going to be gutted. Do you reckon if for whatever reason they changed that ending and he didn't die?
It wouldn't be right if they changed
That's what I mean, yeah.
So, and they said they weren't going to change. So, I'm as much as it's heartbroken and fucking whatever else, I will be crying my little eyes out.
Yeah, because the reason why it's so powerful is because how much you like him.
I'll be expecting it to happen.
Yeah.
Because the games.
I wonder if you're
and the games season, the game 2 wouldn't be it if it didn't happen.
Yeah, so if he still stays alive, game 2 doesn't play out the way it does.
Get Abby, wouldn't get her story.
Because I watched the clip where he dies in the game. They're in the room, aren't they? When does his brother come back in? Because he's not dead, is he?
No.
Yeah, because in the clip, they go into a room and they say their names, and Joel goes, you sound like you've heard of us.
Yes.
And then they shoot him with a shotgun. And they pull Tommy back.
Yeah. Shoot his kneecap off.
And then Ellie gets knocked out towards the end of it all and stuff.
Yeah.
So I watched all that play out. Just I was preparing myself. I was preparing myself. And if it is going to be like that in the show, the people that don't know or don't want it spoiled or have never played the games, I think that scene's going to fuck them off, because that scene in the game started off quite subtle. They're just sort of, again, I only know the scene, I don't know the before and after. They just sort of go into the room and everything seems a bit calm and thingy. They're talking and boom, all of a sudden, just shots getting fired.
Yeah, because to be fair, you start off playing Abby. You're like, who the fuck's this?
So you start saying,
who the fuck's this character? Where the fuck she came from?
So did you think maybe they weren't doing Joel and Ellie anymore? Did you think?
Well, we've seen
the trailer. We've
seen trailer and we've seen Joel and we've seen stuff like that. Yeah. But like, who the fuck's this character? And then you play her for a little bit, then you jump to Ellie, and then you jump to Joel, and then you jump back to Ellie, and then back to Joel, and then you're like, what the fuck's going on?
We're getting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But when you're jumping back and forth between Ellie and Joel, are they still together though?
No.
Oh, so how do they get...
You'll see that in the thingy. I don't want to spoil it for the
movies. I don't mind, mate. I've told you I'm spoiled. That's an entire MCU film, and I'm fucking happy for it to be spoiled.
It's not a bad why they're not together. It's just they're in the little town, so they're doing their own little things.
Right, so they're not like separated.
No, they're doing the runs.
Right.
So you'll get 5 or 6 groups of 2 who have certain runs just to clear the surrounding areas.
So right, because at the minute it's a journey from A to B
for Ellie and Joel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when they find out what's really waiting at B,
when they get to B, they're like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah,
let's
because
go
Joel.
to C.
Yeah, Joel. Yeah. So I'm assuming, do they set up some sort of home or base camp or something?
And you'll get this in A. You'll get this in the first series.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'll get to, So you'll go A to B to C, and then you'll go a bit halfway back to B.
Is it still much travelling in the second game? Because obviously, like we said, the point of the so far, it's...
Yes.
You still got to just...
But in the second game, you're more in a city, you're more in Seattle. You've got to explore Seattle.
Right, okay.
More. Where the first game, you were exploring the fucking route A to B.
How do they do that in the first game? Because obviously the distance is where we're going from it again.
You're going from right there. You're gonna go from Boston to
San Francisco, San Diego. Is that familiar? No.
Fuck. Can't remember.
It's not like a New York, is it?
No.
It's,
No.
Pittsburgh?
It's out west.
It's some distance.
Yeah.
How do they manage that in the game then? Does it feel like you've gone that distance?
It does.
Yeah, because there's a Forza where you have to do. Is there a race where you have to do a real life mile?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it the same for?
Not necessarily the same principle. You get little sections where you'll do certain bits, and then you'll have cutscenes where you've driven for fucking ages or whatever. And then you have another certain bit, and then you have another cutscene where you're up in a different situation, a different part of the country, just like stuff like that. So you're travelling across country, doing sections as you go along,
Right,
with your cutscenes in between.
But it feels like it's a nice name because again, as well, I don't know why I'm talking about Forza. Forza in Forza, there's one in Cumbria, isn't it? But they put Edinburgh like right next to Cumbria.
Yeah.
So it's not like it doesn't feel believable.
No.
But this one does feel like you're on a nice trouble.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any more you want to bring up on it.
Not really. We've pretty much gone through it. And like I said, episode 3. Depending on how far again they've gone through, we could be seeing the weapons expert guy, and he's fun. He doesn't like people.
Ah, right. I was going to say, he's not one of these cookie, wacky, like, doody people that hasn't, right, okay.
No.
Because sometimes in them kind of games, they have someone that's not interacting with many people.
Yeah.
You've usually got a fake friend that's made of a mop, and they're like,
No.
my name's Curtis, and I like shotguns. They're the person.
He's just not keen on people.
But he warms up to these
Especially
two,
Ellie.
I'd say.
He doesn't like Ellie.
Oh, he doesn't like Ellie?
No.
Is
He doesn't like people. He only tolerates Joel because he knows Joel, but he doesn't have a clue who Ellie is.
Oh, he knows Joel?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a fucking clue who Ellie is, so it's like, fucking shut up and stay there. Kind of situation.
I'm with you.
So...
Right, okay, we'll leave it there. I'll get the drain cover off the fucking stupid dog. Little bastard. But,
Bastard.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely awesome. The way the show's going, from everything you've told me, I can't see me not giving any episode of 10 out of 10.
The way it's going, everyone's fucking loving it.
Yeah, it's hitting. I've managed to make my workplace. Everybody watch it. So.
Yeah, I'm doing the same with my lot of them. I'm getting them all to watch it.
Yeah, I feel like HBO should give me some money.
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably got, 15 people to watch it. I don't know if to them it's not a lot of people, but Jesus Christ. But visuals, 10 out of 10. Amazing. Come back next Sunday because we're going to do these on the Sunday. So we'll do our episode recaps before the new episodes come out technically, even though it's Sunday night. I feel a little bit wrong on you because I get to watch it before you.
Hey, it doesn't bother me. I choose to watch it though. I do it on Sky while you do it somewhere else.
Not legit.
So it doesn't bother me. It's like it's in theory I could stay up till 2 o'clock and watch it then, but it's bother me. I'll pay till I just keep off the phone all day because I know fine well if I go on the phone I'll find something.
Yeah, but to be fair though, can you really be spoiled?
To me, yes. So I just stay off the phone. I get home, have my shower, get my tea sorted, and then I sit down, ready for the program with my tea. That's my hour and 10 minutes.
I feel like
right.
For example, say if we come to watch episode 3 and you can't watch it till I don't know Thursday, and we talked about it. I feel like you're just sitting there going, "Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that."
I probably will know because I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
But I still want to watch it.
Yeah, no, because it's a different experience, isn't it? So I am with you, dude. But and definitely, well, if you want to do that, then stay offline with any Ant-Man spoilers as well. Then, but visuals, well, in there, 10 out of 10 for me. I think Chris, you said 10 out of 10, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris probably wants to get a billion out of 10, and I understand because you can be biased as well. When it comes to Spider-Man shit, I'm like, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah,
all of you are wrong. It's amazing.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's fucking. But visuals, thank you for listening. Hopefully, this doesn't ever happen. I'd rather normal zombies. Fuck mushrooms because they're gross. But thank you for listening. Give it on.
See, that's the thing. Would you rather turn into a zombie or would you rather be a fucking mushroom?
Well, in some franchises, zombies kind of keep a sense of who they were.
Yeah.
In some, like, for example, Nick at the end of Shaun of the Dead, he's still a little bit there with the gaming and whatnot. Yeah.
That's a strange way to bring it up.
Yeah, but at least you've got a sense of yourself. Whereas, again, you can correct me. As far as I'm aware, these are completely your body's
you're brain dead.
Your body's just being used for a mushroom.
Yes.
So give me zombie. Even though this one's it seems a little bit more delicate. It's not as gross, like you're not like flesh dropping in, your eyeball hanging out. It's a little bit more, but it's still a bit gross because fungi and that is just.
Depends on how far into the process you are. If you're just a runner, you just got thinking. But you could be also a clicker. You could be a bloater. And I forgot to mention, there's also a shimmer.
Oh, what's a shimmer?
The shimmer is again, he's a bit bigger than a bloater, but yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, because the guy that went to
clicker.
kiss Tess had mushroom growing out of him, but you could see a lot of his human face.
So he was on the verge of becoming a clicker.
Right. Okay.
He was on the half.
So did
where
they,
the rest of
were
them
the,
ran across, they looked like they were just runners.
Will the runners always eventually turn into clickers?
Yeah.
And the clickers eventually turn
After
into
so long.
Turn into
You've still there's 5 stages. You've got
that everybody will go through.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't stop. You don't just be one.
No, you've got your first ones who are still kind of human, but they don't know where they are in their heads, and they're
Like
a bit
dementia and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And then you've got your clickers. I don't know why it was fucking big, but you got your clickers.
Yeah.
Then you got you got your walkers, runners.
Runners.
Then you get your clickers. Then you get your bloaters, and then you get your fucking what the fuck is that?
Bloaters. No, hissers.
What the fuck did I just call them?
You just called them. I'm sure it was like a noise name. Screamers, shouters. No. Fuck knows. Can't remember. But then shimmers. Sorry, it was a fucking thing. And then eventually after that, do they turn into the wall art?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So no matter what, their life will always end with them being somewhere like.
But also it depends on how infected and how dead they are. They could be dead completely into a shimmer or a clicker, and they just could vest into the wall.
Right. So is that what creates all the different vine connections then? Them eventually dropping down?
It's the people that don't survive when they get bit or whatever else. Even though they're dead, their body still turns and they get fuses against the wall, which creates the city into a fucking mushroom vibe.
What? Yeah, drain cover.
So yeah, they're dead in person, in life, but their body is still changing.
No! Yeah,
Which fuses to the buildings, the roads, the what, and everything else.
I'm with you. Right, I need to go fight the dog. I was enjoying that history lesson. Cheers, Mum. Just usually when she's not here, just let him crack on. If he wants to be a dirty bastard, let him be a dirty bastard. But I'm excited to see and I want to see the full evolution chain. We've already had glimpses and stuff and whatnot. I want to see the full shebangle.
To be fair, we never really got the crawlers, the stalkers, until later on, probably season 2.
Right. Okay.
Because we didn't really do much dark buildings and underground tunnels as in the first one. But I'm excited regardless, but visuals, hopefully you're excited, and we'll be checking out episode 3, and we'll be talking episode 3 next week, breaking it all down and chatting and whatever, and Last of Us and carry on. But visuals, thank you for listening. Thank you, Chris, for your expert insight, and keep it on. And as always, love you, bye. Joel, I'm going to miss you.